Yeah, Corey's asking about a comment I make about sometimes we can recognize the impact, or often we can recognize the impact of cessation in the process. When we awaken from the cessation, there's a felt sense internally of things have changed. And I use an expression that it's like going on vacation and coming home and the furniture's been rearranged. So it's just, even what Ed's talking about, there's a way now that Ed's identity is changed because he knows the narration is optional. So even something like that is enormous. And it's all the different ways. It's like I'm mentioning, the bijou are getting purified, karma's being released, old defenses are being resolved and digested. So we're becoming more truly who we are. And that's really what the change is. It's not a negative change, typically. And most people, it's not profoundly life-altering. I mean, people don't abandon their life and run off to a monastery necessarily. I mean, I'm sure people do, but it's not a common reaction that I see anyway. And like, for example, with the awakening, with the Kensho, I'm writing about it in the new book, and I've elicited some of the Kensho stories from my students who have had Kensho in the last few years, which has been really interesting hearing it in their words. And one of the things I asked them is, how has your life been impacted? And I was surprised that everybody reported their life was beneficially impacted. I didn't know how their reaction would be, but they just, all the little ways, they weren't triggered by things. Almost everybody was reporting improved relationships. So they're able to be more authentic, more real, more open-hearted with the people in their lives and themselves. Being open-hearted with ourselves is tremendous. You know, we're the harshest critic. You know, when I grew up as a Christian, they would talk about, you know, this was a long time ago, they talk about St. Peter sitting at the gate to heaven, and again, had the big accounting book out, and you came up and, you know, he flipped to the page and was like, oh no, you know, you've done a lot of stuff. And I had the realization at one point doing practices like this is that we're the St. Peter, we're the gatekeeper. So when we're dying, we're the ones that evaluate our life and judge it. Who better to be a harsh critic than us? But we're reversing that by doing these practices. We're changing it. And we're also being more authentic and honest. I'm not just the bad things I've done. That's a part of my life history, but I'm more than that. So it's seeing that in reality and identifying with that. That really is what changes, you know, the furniture in the house. So thanks for the question.